Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name's Em. If you don't know, now you know. We have Kendall Veer! You need to sit close so they hear you.
Hi!
We are back. The wonderful collab that nobody asked for but everybody wanted is back. Woo! The dynamic duo. How was your guys' week? How was your week?
It was good.
Actually, I had a terrible. I was gonna say you had a really bad week. It was not
I had
a
a terrible
good
week. We're not gonna get into it,
but it's okay.
I'm here.
You're here.
Yay!
We went bowling yesterday, and turns out we're not bowlers. That's
no
for
one
fucking
is
sure.
shocked.
No, absolutely not. But I think there was the part of it, the competitive part of us.
Maybe
was
someone's shocked in you. I'm the least sportiest person to ever walk this planet.
But I think in ourselves it was no, we're for sure gonna be. How hard is bowling? Hard.
It's hard.
It wasn't fucking easy.
With the fingers in it.
Yeah.
And if you have acrylic nails, disclaimer, it hurts. My nails were getting ripped off. Yeah, you don't have fake nails, but I was... See, that was the problem. It was...
Right, between the shoes, my shoe had a rip in it, so my foot was just
They didn't have our size of shoe either.
No. So yeah, went up to the counter and didn't know how to, request bowling. So I was like, hi, I want 2 regular hours of people bowling. I don't even remember what I said. But it was not good.
His name is Ben. He's really nice. Shout out to Ben.
He was really nice.
At Stoked.
He did laugh at us. Well, he laughed at me after I said 2 regular people hour bowling.
I then went to repeat you, and I said, 2 regular hour blowings, please. Because I just
to this kid was probably 17. He for sure. This is his.
Mean to say
no,
that.
but this is his summer job, and he has to fucking.
We also
deal
were
with
not
us.
under the influence at all.
No, so no excuses on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went bowling. Okay, so just like last time, didn't have a set fire plan. So, thought of questions. They're not just the random Pinterest questions. But I thought of questions, mainly because yesterday I had an existential crisis while I was at my plasma appointment, and I was thinking about some of these.
Wait.
We'll get to it.
With the needle in you, you're like, oh, fuck my 20s.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I'm really donating plasma to, buy fun things.
Let's unpack that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, thought of some random questions. They all kind of center around early 20s, what it's like to be in your 20s, shit like that. Okay, this one's a fun one. What's an impractical career you would do if there was no consequences? So if you, didn't have to make money, or if there wasn't,
Oh, a dancer.
Okay, but that's, realistic. What's,
That's not realistic!
Okay, you know what I mean!
Ain't nobody making a living off of that.
That's true. I was gonna say, beekeeper. I don't like bees.
Why? Then why would you?
Because imagine saying that you were a beekeeper. I feel like that's, a fun...
No, you'd be like the bee lady on TikTok.
Right. Did you see that girl that collects the dandelion crayons?
Yes!
She has, this whole room of dandelion,
The dandelion.
the crayon, yeah. Oh, no, you know what I would actually really want to do? You know those, Below Deck in those shows?
Yeah.
I would do that. Except everybody says that it's kind of a miserable job. But imagine just, working on, a charter bus. Or a charter bus. You don't think that would be fun?
No.
Okay, it would be fun for, a week.
No, because have you seen the episodes
But then you're on
where
TV.
they're, the cabin is literally the size of this couch, and their crewmates, on top of them,
Okay, that's true. Okay,
and then you just
different job. What's another fun job? A dog walker.
Oh,
if I could make...
yeah.
I mean, I guess if money wasn't an option. Just, walk dogs all day.
Yeah, but only the good ones.
Yeah, not the bad ones.
I'd have criteria that these dogs
There's a
have to meet.
checklist.
Yeah. So I don't like anything enough to want to make it a career.
Yeah, I think we talked about this. I just don't want a job. Realistically. Not in, I'm lazy and I don't want to work. I just want to, go sit in a field.
Yeah, I want to
And not... Yeah.
Maybe, a flower picker is my answer.
Ooh, cute.
I'd
Or,
pick
a
flowers.
florist. Get a little flower shop.
But I don't want to put them together into bouquets because that stresses me out.
Okay, so
I just want to go
just a
pick
flower
them.
picker.
But not, an intense flower picker. I'm in my dress
Yeah, with, a little basket.
with my wicker basket.
Yeah.
And I'm just
I want this one, and I want this one.
I'd only pick the ones I like.
What do you want to be remembered for? I think I really just picked questions that I knew would, send you into existential crisis.
I don't want to be remembered for?
I was thinking about this yesterday. This was part of my I was
Okay,
like, I don't want to be remembered. Everybody else is like, I want this big, huge legacy. I'm like, I don't want to be remembered.
Wait, why?
Because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like you have to do something either really good or really bad to be remembered. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to be known for anything, like... I mean, I guess being known for a good thing wouldn't be, like, the end of the world. But the likelihood, how many people are remembered for a bad thing? I'm like, that would be terrifying.
Well, I think... I was gonna say, as long as it's not something bad, and I don't know if that's, like, the people pleaser in me, but
yeah, like, I wouldn't want to be...
I don't want to be remembered so badly that I'm gonna do something real crazy to get...
Yeah. Did you see that video? Did you watch the Try Guys?
Yes.
But did you see the video where Zach went to, like, this rinky-dink... I don't remember where it was. Connecticut? Idaho? Anyways, there was this lady that died, and on her tombstone is, like, a cheese dip recipe. So he did this whole video of, like, going and talking to her daughter and figuring out, like, why this... And her daughter, it was, like, the cutest thing ever. She was like, everybody liked the cheese dip. She gave it to people for Christmas every year, and she was like, nobody will get the recipe until it's on my tombstone. And I was like, oh, no. And then he talked the whole thing about, like, I don't know what I want to be remembered for. I don't know what my legacy is going to be. And I was like, I can't listen to this right now. I cannot handle it.
Well, if we're going that route, I make a bomb buffalo chicken dip. It's really good. You can ask any of my friends. I make it all the time.
Okay, so buffalo chicken dip.
I just want to be like, I just want people to think I'm cool.
Or, like, she was nice. Like, she was, like...
Yeah, but they can't say it like that. That's actually probably the nicest person I've ever met.
Like, she was really, really nice. She was funny.
If anything... No, that'd be funny if you were saying it for a guy, though.
Yeah, if anything.
Yeah, he was
really funny.
I think I'd want to be remembered for being a, like, selfless person. The ultimate compliment is that you're a giving person.
Yeah.
Also, ultimate compliment is that you smell good. And
Yes.
I'm not gonna leak my perfume, but I get told that all
But she does
the
smell
time.
good.
I want to get remembered for smelling good. That's my...
We just had to dig. That'll be on the tombstone. It'll be teeny tiny little letters.
But the perfume I wear.
What the perfume you wear.
And if you know what perfume I wear,
shut the fuck up.
Keep your mouth shut.
Don't say shit. Do you think you're currently living in the present?
No.
Never ever.
But I also don't know if I'm more so living in the past or if I'm trying to think ahead and live in the future.
I think I do both. I think I try and plan, like, every event in my future, but then I'm, like, stuck in this mindset of where I was, like, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, these are two very different people. The person I want to be in, like, 3 years.
There has to be a healthy balance of being present, because you can't forget about the past, and you can't not worry about the future.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly having to take steps towards it.
Yeah. I just don't ever let myself live, like, here. Oh, I'm gonna panic about what my life is gonna look like in, like, 5 years. I'm not gonna change anything right now to, like, make it better. I'm just gonna sit here and panic about it, and then wonder why I'm, like, a constant state of just dread.
This is making me think of Trisha Paytas, who was like...
Can we talk about Trisha? She had another fucking baby.
She did. What's his name?
Elvis?
Elvis. Wow.
She's very cute.
She was saying how she got diagnosed with, like, I don't know what it was, like BPD or something.
I think.
And before she had her kids, she would meditate for 3 to 4 hours a day, meaning, like, sitting in complete silence, like...
Bitch, I can't do that.
3 to 4 hours?
I cannot be alone with my thoughts. The fucking power went out yesterday. Can we talk about it? I got home at, like, 4.
Wait. This woman, like, she's a homebody, okay?
I don't leave my house. Like, I don't
never leaves the house.
enjoy leaving my house.
And I was like, I'm coming to visit. Like, expecting that we're just gonna, like, chill. I walk in the door. She's like, let's go bowling. Let's go to the arcade. I'm like, what happened?
I got home at, like, 4. I worked in the morning, did some shit after. I got home at 4. Apparently, the power had been out since, like, 2. I was fine for, like, an hour. And then I was like, it is dead silent in here. There's no, like, hum of a fan. I can't, like, listen to music. I can't put a podcast on. I'm like, I think I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
So I went and drove around for, like, 30 minutes until you were, like, almost here. And then, yeah, we went bowling.
Bowling, arcade. I'm like, okay.
Places where I don't have to be alone with my thoughts.
Yeah.
Loud, obnoxious
The bowling alley
places.
is great because the ball, every time the ball is forward, it's like, especially when I bowl, I, like, take the ball and I'm like...
The people beside us, it was, like, this family, so this these parents and then their 3 kids, and the dad kept fucking not yelling, but he kept like telling the daughter and his wife, "You guys are just overthrowing. You're just being so aggressive." And then I fucking chucked the ball, and he just looks at me. I was like, "Oh no."
We're
obnoxious.
We are really off track, but bowling alleys, okay? All the lanes are so close together. It's so intimate.
Like, even regardless if you want it to be or not. Like, you are right beside everybody else.
You're sharing the bowling balls. Like, there's 2 lanes and you're sharing that area.
Like, the booth, yeah.
And it's like, why does it have to be so intimate? Like
I feel like they could have put, like, little walls up or something. Give a little bit of a barricade. What was the question? Are you living in the present?
Clearly not.
No.
Clearly not. Still talking about the bowling alley from yesterday.
And will be for a week. So no, I'm not currently living in the present. What kind of life do you want to avoid, and what choices can you make in your 20s to make that happen? I don't want to work until I'm like 80. I can tell you that for fucking sure.
Okay, like, generalize, I don't want to live a life where I, like, care and worry too much.
Yeah.
That's, like, my general answer. Which I think would tie into, like, what you just said, like, not wanting to work until I'm 80.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's never that serious.
It's really not. And I think it's... I don't know, like, I think our generation... But, like, growing up, we had every older generation of adults telling us, like, you need to go to university, you need to do this job, you need to, like, work your ass off and do all
like,
this. And I'm like, I simply don't want to. Yeah. I do not care. I go to my job every day. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy my job. Like, it's fine. Do I care about being there for the rest of my life? No. Do I care about putting in, like, 110% so that I'm... No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I go and I do exactly what is, like, in my job description.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And I'm like, I'm fine with that. I don't care to, like, build my life around what I do for work.
Yeah. And I think our generation is the first to, like, look past the 9-to-5 job. And we were very, determined people. And so, like, not only me, but I know so many people that are like, oh, I'm going to take my sport further, or I'm going to go do something that's not the norm.
Yeah.
And then the parents and grandparents are like,
what are you doing? You're going to throw your life. I'm like,
when I tell people I'm a dancer, they're like, yeah, okay, but when are you going to
But what do you actually do?
I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like,
that's what I'm doing.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, y'all care too much to a fault.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not stupid. Like, I know that if this isn't working out for me in the next, like, however many years, like, I'm gonna have to figure something else out.
But then you'll figure that out
but then
when
I'll
that
figure
happens.
It out,
Why
really?
are you gonna go into it with the expectation of, like, this is gonna fail, I need a backup plan, I need to, like...
Because if I went into everything with the mindset that it's gonna fail and I need a backup plan...
I just wouldn't do anything. Why would you willingly, like, go into everything you do?
Yeah, you're just living in fear all the time.
Yeah.
So, I just need to... I think me and everyone else needs to just, like, stop giving a shit.
No, honestly.
I say that lightly.
Yeah, but it's not wrong. Like, there's a stigma around, like, oh, if you don't want to go to work every day and if you don't want to, like, do XYZ that you're lazy or you're not motivated. I'm like, no, I just simply care more about other things in my life. Like, realistically. And so many more people are, like, trying to find ways, like, yes, still working their, like, normal 9-to-5 or whatever their job is, but then finding things every day that remind them that it's okay to be alive. Instead of, like, oh, I don't need to save my vacation days and take 1 week-long vacation once a year. Okay, go do shit on the weekend. Like, 2 days is long enough. And I think so many people for so long thought that 2 days wasn't enough to, like, do things. Mm-hmm. Would I like more than 2 days? Yes. But I think it's important to find ways to, like, fit in living right now instead of putting it off. Like, I can sit here and say, like, oh, next year I want to take, I don't know, like, a month off and go do whatever. Okay, but that's next year. Like, what are you doing right now?
I think it's because there's this pressure to get a degree, get a good stable job so that you can have kids and have a family, because a family is the end goal.
Yeah.
But for some people, which it's hard for the older generation to understand, but for some people, that's not the end goal.
No.
Their end goal is financial freedom. Their end goal is to travel. Their end goal is to... But, like, Newsflash, there's more than one end goal in life, you guys.
Okay, this is the one I was thinking about at my fucking plasma appointment, which ties into that. Why do you think so many people feel lost or don't have a sense of self in their 20s?
Because they're trying to live the life that other people want them to live.
That's what I said. Here's my story time of the week. I got off work yesterday and went to the gas station, and I was just standing and filling my car, and I had this, like, weird wash of, like, I do not feel like I'm an adult at all.
Yeah.
And then I went to this plasma appointment, was sitting there, and I was like, why the fuck do I feel like that? And I think a part of it, every generation before us, or even, like, people in our generation, your early 20s was like, okay, you finish school, you get a job, you get a husband, and you get kids.
You get a husband.
Yeah, like, you get a husband and you have kids. And that's, like, that was what people's life led up to. That is not what I want my life to look like at all. Which, if it's what you want, power to you. But I was like, I'm in this weird spot of, like, okay, you're 21. I was born when my mom was 21.
Yeah.
Like, my mother was married and had a child.
I literally had that same thought the other day. My father was 19. I don't know how old my mom was, but my father was 19.
Yeah. And had a baby. So then I'm like, well, no shit, I don't feel like a grown-up because I'm not doing any of the things that anybody else was doing. Like, anybody in my family.
The person you look up to the most, like your parents.
Yeah, I'm like, we had a very different life. Like, very different early 20s. My mom was having children. My dad was working a million hours, you know, like, and that's not what my life looks like. So then I'm like, well, no shit, I don't feel like a grown-up because I have no, like, growing up, I don't know that I knew anybody who was, like, child-free willingly. No. Or, like, people who were in their late 20s, early 30s, and unmarried, like, willingly. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that just wasn't a thing that... And we also lived in a small town, so it was very, like...
Vice versa, too, though. Your parents, or even your grandparents, because all your parents know are that your grandparents probably got fucking married when they were, what, 16? And that's all they know, so then they see you not doing that, so and then like, they have what concern, are you doing wrong? As they would. Yeah. Because it's not normal.
No, but, like, it's fine. But, yeah, that was my, like, existential crisis of, like, why do I feel like I'm not where I should be, even though, like, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. And, like, realistically, would I want to get married at 21? No. Could you imagine me having a child right now?
No.
Ain't no way. Could you imagine me having a child ever? No. But right now?
Especially not right now.
Like, that would be, oh my god, insane.
I just think people are too busy trying to do what other people want them to do, me included. But who are other people? Like, I think about...
old-ass grannies.
Well, I just think about, like, I'm teaching dance, and I'm teaching a dance class to toddlers, and I'm like, I wonder what I should be doing right now. What? Why am I worried about what Sally's mom's grandma thinks about the way I teach my class? Like, what? This is supposed to be, like, a fun job. And then I think about even relationships. Like, we haven't even got there yet. I don't even know what I want yet. Yeah. So it's like, what? Like, I'm trying to curate this perfect relationship, and I don't even know what that is.
Well, yeah, and it's, like, there's just so... I feel like it's not the norm anymore to have... Like, your young 20s used to be, like, that is when you got married, you started having kids. Like, that was, like... Mm-hmm. That was your life. And now I feel like it's a lot more normal for people if they want kids or they want whatever to start later in life because you're actually allowed to, like, live in your 20s before... That sounds mean. But you know what I mean? Like, before there was no option to, like, go travel in your 20s or go switch jobs a million times.
I just think our generation is more defiant in that way, where they're like, oh, you're telling me I have to? Well, I'm not going to.
I'm not going to. Literally, like, fuck you. You told me I have to have kids at, like, 24.
And well, there's a lot of pressure on us to get a good education. A good degree. Oftentimes takes 7+ years. Yeah. Okay?
So, also, you're, like, not guaranteed a good job anymore. Like, your degree doesn't mean shit. No. Realistically, your degree is not securing you a job. It's, like...
No, but you can't be perfect. Like, okay, so you want me to become a doctor. Okay, I'm going to be out when I'm, like, 27, 28. Yeah. Around then. So I already missed the timeline. Hopefully I meet my husband in school. Might not. Yeah. Let's say I do. I'm still waiting to get married until I'm graduated because I can't afford... Neither can he. No. So let's say I'm not actually getting married until I'm 30. Okay. If we're also going to go the traditional route, I am not having sex and I am not having kids until I am wed. Fine. I am now 31, 32 until I have a kid.
But now you're in the beginning of your career that you just spent 9 years going to school for, so now you're reprimanded.
It wouldn't be smart for me to have a kid, and now it's like, I'm 32, I'm not stable, I'm freshly married, and I can't afford my kids, and I still need the support of my family.
Yeah.
But in their eyes, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is what you wanted, like, why are you mad?
Yeah.
But
this is the timeline that you set up.
Think about what you're asking of the younger generation. Like, it's unattainable.
Yeah.
But no one wants to admit that. Everyone's like, no, I can make it work. No, sweetie, you
really can't.
And it's okay.
We also live in, like, a shit show. I don't know how anybody affords to have kids or anything right now.
I can't even afford myself.
Yeah. Like, people who want kids and are having kids. I'm like, where?
And these, like, I have friends that are working, like, 40, 50-hour work weeks.
And still
can't afford themselves.
No. Of course people feel like they're fucking spiraling in their like, nobody, I don't want to say nobody prepared us, because I don't think that's true. It's a very different, like, the 20s that we're living in is very different from the 20s that, like, our parents lived through.
Yeah.
Like, those are very different decades of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was impossible for anybody to say, like, okay, here's, like, 15-year-old Emily. Yeah, when you're 21, rent in your city, which is a shit show of a city, is going to be, like, $1,500. And that's, like, on the low end of the country.
And that's here.
Let's
talk about Vancouver.
Yeah, like, nobody's afford your $4,000 rent. Nobody's fucking affording that on their own.
Oh.
Nobody can afford gas. You can't go out to eat. You can't, like, you're going to be stuck working 50-plus hours just to survive. That's not, like, an enjoyable... here's all of the adventures of the world. Nope. You're just...
Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, when our generation does grow up and have kids, how that's going to work, because I feel like, for the most part, not everyone, but our parents, or our generation of parents, have the financial freedom to help us.
Yeah. We don't.
Financially, we don't.
No.
So when our kids are, like, not able to make it, because I'm assuming it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
So when our kids are not able to make it work, what are we going to do? Because we could barely make it work.
That's the thing. Like, you don't have... Like, right now, people our age are moving back in with their parents because their parents have the disposable income to help support.
Yes.
Which, great. Power to you if your parents are,
That's
like...
fantastic.
100%. That's not going to be the case for, like, our generation's kids moving back home. That's going to be like, hey, neither your parents or you can afford to live anywhere. So now you have to live with your parents because your parents can't afford rent, let alone you. Now your parents, who are, like, in their 50s and have been working for the last 30 years and have, in theory, some form of saving or something, they can't afford to live either. So now you have to live together. Mm-hmm. Not out of, like, a, hey, we're helping you. It's like, hey, we both need help. Like, both parties need... roommates. Imagine being in your 50s and needing roommates. That makes me want to die thinking about, like, that makes me want to die.
That.
Like,
I'm still renting out with Emily. That wouldn't even be bad.
But imagine having, like, multiple roommates.
Oh my god.
We get, like, a 5-bedroom house and we don't know our 3 roommates. We're, like, in our 40s.
Type deal.
Fine.
Maybe they were onto something.
Okay, so... game plan.
Hype House 2025.
Hype House 2025.
Us now, our generation is kind of thinking like, oh, I can work and make money and also be happy. But I do have to sacrifice.
It makes
me laugh. Which one
do
you want?
My, like, when I was, like, 14, or just when I was younger, my idea of, like, I want this $1 million house, and I want the super bougie cars, and now I'm like, I want a van.
Yeah, like, I don't care.
I want to live in my van. I don't really give a shit. The reality of it, we live on a floating rock.
Stop giving a shit.
Truly, nothing matters. You're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to break it to you. You're gonna die. Your kids are gonna die. Like, nothing is infinite. There is, like, this permanent end to what you have. So either spend your entire life being miserable, and if that's what you choose...
And maybe it's not miserable
whatever.
to you. Like,
yeah, like, for sure. Some people enjoy their jobs. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if that's what you love... No, I'm like, that's wild. You do you. But, like, if you went to school for your job and that's, like, what you want your life to be, great. Power to you. Do that. But don't turn it around and say that other people are, like, bad people.
If I have one more person tell me that the route I chose was... wrong, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I, like...
Yeah.
Also, stop giving a shit about, like, the things you do. Also, like, the things that other people do doesn't affect you.
It really doesn't.
Me, like, if I end up homeless on the street, it does not affect
anybody but yourself
whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
so why do people give a shit? Like, why do you care? If you could give one piece of advice to someone entering their 20s, what would it be?
Stop giving a shit, live in the moment, don't care so much, you're doing fine. Listen to the song Vienna by Billy Joel. I actually Vienna. Just made a dance to it. It's on my Instagram. If you're ever feeling confused, just go give it a shameless plug.
It'll be in the show notes. Go watch it. It was really cute.
Me and Jordan, we made that dance.
We made that dance. I want to pet that dog. I made that dance.
I want to pet that dog.
Okay, what's my piece of advice?
Make dances.
Yeah.
And sing songs.
Yeah.
Why does not more people do that? Why is that weird? You don't even have to be good.
Because people are mean.
You know what? You're right.
People are mean.
My advice would be...
Don't be mean. Don't be a cunt.
Take more chances and dance more dances.
Quote Kendall Veer. Can that be your new Instagram bio?
No. But are they wrong?
No.
Are they wrong?
You're gonna look at me and tell me that I'm wrong? Sorry. I don't know where I'm at today.
What's your advice?
What is my advice?
Can't be as good as mine. Fuck, that was good.
I know what I want to say, but the words aren't coming to my head. Okay, I guess my advice would be, as much as I feel like it's very isolating to be in, like, your 20s or, like, starting out in life because you feel like everybody else has their shit figured out more than you. Nobody has any clue what the fuck they're doing. And I think that's the reality of it. People only, like, in terms of, like, what people post on Instagram and whatever else, people are only really showing highlights of their life in general. Yeah. If you run into somebody on the street that you haven't seen in, like, 5 years, they're not going to tell you about how they're miserable and broke and haven't done anything with their life. And they're going to tell you the few good things that are going on. And that's what you're going to see is, like, the whole picture. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. So I guess if you feel like you have no direction or you don't know what you're doing, chances are everybody else is in the same boat. Mm-hmm. Like, how many people in their 20s actually have their shit figured out and are like...
Zero?
Yeah.
Zero. And if they tell you they do, they're lying.
They're lying.
Everyone just really... Well, we grew up with social media.
Yeah.
And so we were trained to...
Only say what was good and only see what was good.
Have an appealing public profile.
Yeah.
And that applies in person, too. When you see someone on the street, you always want to have the most appealing public profile.
Yeah.
But no one really... Like, think about it. Let's put this into perspective. Think about an Instagram picture. And when you take hundreds...
I was going to say, how many pictures does it take to get one picture that you post on Instagram?
That you deem good enough for your Instagram.
Hundreds.
And you're sitting there for hours going through the hundreds of photos that... Prime example. Everyone's seeing the one good photo and they don't see the...
Like 300 bad ones that don't look
they like also that. You might have Facetuned your photo, no shame, but you might have done that as well.
Yeah.
You might have put a filter on it. You might have, like, enhanced the photo somehow, like...
Yeah.
This
is an AI-generated photo. Did you know that on Instagram there's, like, a little toggle you can click to, like, this was made with AI?
I hate that.
Yeah, I know. The world is doomed.
Yep.
It's scary. But yeah, nobody actually has their shit figured out. Everybody else is in the same boat of, like, being confused and lost and not having a ton of direction.
Period.
So it's okay. You're not that fucking far behind. Like, you're really not far behind from anybody else.
Why does everyone feel so... I have an answer.
Okay.
But you can go first. Why does everyone feel so lonely when they're in reality not technically alone? Go.
Because we grew up with your relationship with people over your phone mattering more than the relationship in person.
Woo!
Is that wrong?
Woo!
Because realistically... How many times did you, like, okay, I'm fighting with somebody over text, but then I'm gonna, like, act like everything's fine in person because...
Oh.
All the time.
That's not what you do?
Is that not normal? But even, like, we had, like, when did you get your first phone?
I was in grade 6.
Yeah, like, young.
How old? 13?
11.
11? Then you just start talking about digital footprints in fucking kindergarten.
Oh, 100%, because I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Anyways. But, like, our entire life was spent, even when you weren't with somebody physically, you were still talking to them. You were still Snapchatting them. You were still texting them. Like, it gave so much more room for people to create, like, parasocial relationships with the people that they knew in real life, which is wild. Because when have you ever had that? Even just the concept of, like, parasocial relationships in general. But people, it's not like, oh, I have this, I watch this creator and I've created this, like, mentality that this is my friend, that's, like, the epitome of parasocial. Except people are doing that and have been doing that with people in their real life.
In their life, yeah.
So no shit you feel alone because you don't actually have, like, for the most part, people don't have a ton of true relationships in person. It's all like, oh, we're mutuals. Oh, and we follow each other or whatever. I'm like, you don't fucking know that person.
It's like, oh, have we met before? Oh, well, we follow each other on Instagram.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I ran into oh my god, I went to the bar this one time and this girl, like, tapped me on the shoulder and was like, oh my god, I follow you on Instagram. And I was like, I have no fucking clue who you are. She was very sweet, but I was like, I have no idea who you are. And she came on to me like we were, like, best friends and, like, had known each other for years. And I was like, I do not know who you are. We've never had a conversation. We have never, like, nothing. And she was like, oh my god, I follow you on Instagram. As if that meant that she was, like, my soulmate. And I was like, this is trippy. Like, this is a fucking weird concept.
I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but also, like, people meeting for the first time. Why is it so quick to be like, we're best friends?
Yeah.
It is. I don't know if that's related at all, but even when I started ITP and, like, we walked in the first day and it took us all but an hour. Yeah. When I first moved into my apartment, had no idea who my roommates were. Immediately opened the door and just like that, we were like,
yeah,
fine.
Which I don't know that it's a bad thing, but it's definitely a weird concept of, like,
but why
hey, I've known you for 30 minutes and we're gonna, I think probably because we're so used to, like, how many people do you follow on Instagram?
Like 1,000.
Yeah. And how many do you actually know in real life, like, would sit and have a conversation with? Like, let's go for lunch. Like, how many people?
Maybe half?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So then it's, like, this weird thing of, oh, I follow all of these people and I see so many details of their life. Like, me, for example, I post so much shit on my story and stuff. Like, I'm constant on the gym page. I'm like, here's every fucking day of my life. Here's I'm gonna spill all of the shit that's happening, and I don't care if you want to listen. I'm gonna post it. Well, no shit that people have this mentality of, like, oh, I already know this person. Like, we haven't met, but whatever. But I follow you on Instagram. I, like, see what you're doing on the weekend. Obviously, I know you.
But what they know is, like, not the
is nothing.
So
but you have this mentality of, like, oh, I already know you. Like, it's fine. I already know you. I already know, like, I know so many. How many other people, like, how many other generations of people were like, oh, yeah, I casually see hundreds of thousands of people worth of posts and stuff in a week. None. It's, like, a terrifying thing to think of how many. Oh my god, if I went through, like, my TikTok watch history in a week, like, thousands of creators, like, thousands of different people, I would have seen their posts. I'm like, that is not normal. Like, the consumption of content is not healthy.
No.
At all.
Or accurate. No. Again, it's a highlight reel.
Oh, 100%. But even just the idea of, like, okay, I saw 100 TikToks today. That is 100 different people that I'm seeing, like, some part of their life or something that they want to say. That is not, like, a normal thing to have that overload of other people's personal details and personal life that you just now know. And I think that goes along with, like, oh, I just met you, but I'm so used to, like, getting this quick content of people or this quick, like, hey, we have 5 minutes and then we need to, like, pretend that we're friends. So no shit that it's like, hey, now we're best friends. I've known you for 30 minutes and we're best friends. I don't need to know a ton of your life because I don't know a ton of a lot of people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
But it's trippy.
I tend to, when people tell me, like, oh, we're best friends or whatever, whether that's true or not, I tend to take it for truth. So I'm like, oh, like,
Of course we're best friends. Like, you think we're good friends? Okay, I guess we are good friends. I don't know anything about you.
But then I start acting that way, and it's not reciprocated, and I'm like...
But you just said we were best friends.
And then I go, well, I must have, like, done something wrong when...
Yeah.
No,
like, you didn't do anything
we were
wrong.
never good friends in the first place.
No, it's just a thing that...
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
And then that's where I'm like, why do I keep losing friends?
Yeah.
But they weren't friends in the first place.
It was an acquaintance. It was like hey, we met in passing, but you said, oh my god, I love you so much, you're my best friend, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm going to take it as that. Why are you lying to me?
Let's take the term I love you, and let's keep that, right?
Let's keep it.
Wait, what's my left side?
Let's put it in a little box.
Let's put it...
And keep it close to your chest.
Shove it in the bra, and let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Unless you really deem it necessary to dig it out.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you can.
Yeah.
Let's not use it lightly.
No.
Okay, that's a nice term we're gonna use
selectively. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your answer?
My answer to...
Did you give an answer?
Well, I kind of agree with what you were saying. Okay. I wasn't gonna go the, like, whole social media route.
Oh.
But now I agree.
Well, I just think it has... As much as you want to say that, oh, social media doesn't impact my... It does.
No, it does.
You grew up with it. Like, it's a very... Oh my god, I had Instagram when I was like 12.
Isn't it so fucking scary that we don't know a life really without social media?
Well, I don't remember. Maybe this is just trauma and me repressed. I don't remember what existed, like how I existed before I had a phone.
No.
I don't remember when I was like 6.
A year ago. So.
Yeah, literally. But I'm like, I don't remember being like 6 or 10. No, I have nothing.
I think about, because I'm going on 2 really long road trips right away.
Yeah.
And I used to do these road trips.
Like, frequently.
Like, as a child, and I did not have a phone.
Yeah.
I had, the iPod that played music, and I think I had a DS once I got a little bit older.
Shout out, I fucking love my DS.
And I just did, like, how long that road trip? Like, 16 hours, 18 hours?
Yeah. And you just
and I did not have a phone the whole time. And then my mom just said, like, we're taking this road trip again. And I'm like, well, do we have, like, roaming data, or am I not gonna have, like, internet on the other side? And she was like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, God, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Even, like, now you can't really play music unless you have...
Yeah, like, unless you're purposely downloading a playlist.
That is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
It's just weird to not... Like, we were the last kids to ever not have phones.
I'm fearful for...
whatever the fuck this...
The generation to come who has genuinely never had a life. Because we just don't really remember it.
Yeah, like, we had, like, TVs. Yeah. You know, like, you would watch TV and whatever else.
You had your phone.
You had an iPod every, like, if you were bougie, you had your iPod or whatever. But I'm like, these kids are, like, people are giving their, iPads to infants.
Like, babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, toddlers that don't go anywhere.
It used to be frowned upon to sit your baby in front of a TV.
And now it's like, oh, here's, like, 12 hours of screen time so that people don't have to interact with their child. But they're so fucking stressed because they probably weren't ready to have a kid. Oh, 100%. They can't fucking afford to have their kids.
They're having to work a full-time job with a fucking newborn. Yeah. So they're like,
now it's just
like this, so I can work.
Here's like this endless spiral of nobody can afford to live, but people want kids, so people have kids, but then they still have to work. So now you're sticking your kid in front of a computer or an iPad. But then you're raising this, like, screen-hungry monster.
And the amount of times I've babysat kids before.
And they don't fucking do anything.
And they can't, like, even, like,
they won't eat a meal without it. They don't.
Yeah.
Like, heaven forbid you go play outside because they can't have their I'm like...
It's crazy.
This is alarming.
The dance classes I teach, I started doing a phone bucket.
Yeah.
Because they started bringing their phones into dance class. And, like, when I would give a water break, they would go take their water and, like, go on their phone. And they're literally 9 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like...
What are you doing?
Wait, what? So I started doing a phone bucket, and I was hit with the you can't do that, that's my personal property. Which they do, I know they do to teachers in school too.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you can't handle a 45-minute dance class without
going on your phone.
On your phone. And realistically, what are you accomplishing in the 0.5 seconds it takes you to drink from your water bottle?
Yeah.
Like, nothing. It's just, like... And I do it, too. Like,
I was gonna say, don't get me wrong.
When my phone's dead...
My screen time...
And I hit them with the...
Yeah.
And it's dead and it's not working. Or sometimes my phone's not even there and I'll go...
Yeah. Like, my screen time is alarming. That is...
I just got my...
If I have, like...
time today?
I didn't look at it today. That's, like, one of my habits that... I have a couple, but that's my, like, big one, is, like, not... Like, trying so hard to not be on my phone as much. It's not going very well. I'll tell you that much. It's definitely not, like... What do you do when you're bored? Sit on your phone.
But I also feel, like, tying into this, like, being lonely thing, for example... I've made a lot of friends in Vancouver, and they're not near me at all.
Yeah, so you have to have a way to communicate with them.
Yeah. I have to, and, like, if you don't talk to them, I would say at least once a day, or once every couple days.
Yeah.
Then they're moving on to the next. Like, you're not their friend anymore, and that scares me.
Well, and it's not. That's nothing against them. That's just like
that's just how it is.
It's hard to keep relationships with people that you don't see. If you're also, like, not having some form of communication every day.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not sitting there and calling multiple people
a
day.
Not.
Like, I have friends that I haven't seen in, like, multiple months. I'm not sitting there and calling them. Because, no.
But if you don't, like, let them know, like, hey, I know you're alive.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm alive. I hope you're alive.
And
see you when I can see
32 people. So I'm not only doing that with one person, I'm doing that with the 32 people I met.
Yeah.
Plus the people I know in Saskatoon. Plus the people I know in the States. Like...
Yeah. It's like this endless wanting to keep relationships that you do have.
Yeah.
But then you need to be on your phone for it.
Yeah.
Because you have no other way of... Yeah.
Or even, like, dating. Oh
yeah.
my god. Because...
You don't fucking meet people in person.
No, you don't.
Like,
and then
never.
Once you do have a relationship, it's like... You're attached, right?
Yeah.
And that you have to be talking all the time.
Which I fucking hate.
I just, like... But I do it. I do 100%. I don't like it, though, because it's like, you are no longer independent from that person, and when you aren't talking to that person 24/7, well, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Why aren't you talking to me?
Yeah, like, there was this switch where it no longer became normal to have any personal time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, heaven forbid you are just with yourself, or, like, doing something for yourself, because somebody else is going to assume that you're doing something negative against them.
Yeah.
Especially in dating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw that you were on your phone, and you haven't answered me in, like, 2 hours. It was 2 hours! And you're really gonna, like, sit here and be pissy about the fact that you didn't get a text from me in 2 hours? Mm-hmm. I could go 3 days. Like, give me, like, a day. Mm-hmm. Realistically. Unless we, like, have set in stone plans, or there's a genuine conversation that I want to have with you. We go how many hours in between? Like, well, yeah, sometimes we go, like, 2 weeks in between, like, actually saying words to each other.
It's just, like, meaningless banter.
Yeah, like, and I don't really care.
Banter. I feel we have good banter.
Okay, but, like, realistic, yes, sometimes I just text you, like, random shit that happened that has no correlation to you, but I'm like, for the most part...
Sweetie. It's funny.
But sometimes I'm like, I don't really care to sit and try and make fake conversations with multiple people every hour of the day. Mm-hmm. I don't have it in me. I really don't have it in me.
Because you're just talking to talk, and then it's like...
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think there's a weird, like, line between having good chemistry with someone...
And forcing it, and just trying to...
it, and like, just because you know how to have a conversation doesn't mean that...
You have any chemistry with that person, or...
you just both know how to talk.
Yeah.
Because you're trained at it from a very young age.
I was gonna say, it's like...
It's
stuck in your brain.
Clearly we know how to yap, like,
I was gonna say, if we know anything, it's how to fucking talk.
Know how to yap. What's a career I would do?
A certified yapper. I ain't nothing if not a yapper. People are so used to, like, on the flip side of this, people are so used to constantly having other people start conversations with them that leads into people feeling lonely.
Yeah, it's like, wait, why aren't you reaching out?
Yeah, like, why aren't we talking today? Why didn't we have this, like, oh, how was your day? Oh, it was great. How was your day? Doesn't matter.
Or it's that expectation that if they wanted to talk to me, they would. But guess what? They're on the other end thinking the exact same fucking thing.
So then you start this cycle of, like, wow, I'm so lonely, this person doesn't want my company. Like, no! Sometimes people just don't want to have meaningless conversations. Wouldn't be
With
mad
all this
about
being
it.
said, do I want to be a stay-at-home
So
mother
if
with
anybody
kids?
out
Yes.
there wants to be Kendall's husband, her Instagram will be in the show notes.
No, because no, don't talk to me. I'm picky, okay?
Yeah, there's a really selective like audition process. There will be a form to fill out.
I wish.
You could just make like a Google form.
I feel like people I've seen.
How tall are you?
Height.
Eye color,
Age,
hair
eye color.
color. How many children do you want?
Do you have genetic balding in your family? Do we have any closing statements?
Not really.
We also are going to be taking all this advice. Disclaimer, we are a hypocrite.
We are hypocrites.
We are a hypocrites.
Yeah, we got no ground to
We've
stand
done
on with
none of
any of
this.
these. We have done no self-improvement. We don't do any
But you know
self-work.
what? The first step to self-improvement is awareness, and I would say we're pretty aware. Right. Oh, shit. I'd say we're pretty aware.
Yeah.
Clearly.
We did talk about it
We've
for
had
an
an
hour.
hour conversation about it.
So in other words, do as we
God,
say,
I'm
not
so-
as we do.
I have so many bug bites. It's fucking unreal.
I don't know how to help you.
Ugh. Okay.
Okay. Well, I think that's all we got. Thank you guys so much for listening, if you listen this far. Follow us on
Nobody
Instagram.
listened this far.
No. Follow us on Instagram at Kendall_Veer.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I have all of them. They're in the show notes.
EB Fit. Hey from M. Emily Brouillard.
She's a true fan.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. I say it every week, and I'll continue to say it. So if you'd rather watch your podcasts, I would recommend going and if you didn't watch this one, re-listen to it and go watch it. Yeah, I think that's all I got.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I'm like sweating for real from that. Let me do a song. Da 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 da. Thanks for watching, everyone.